Somebody who's watched plenty of game film. In fact, so much so that she has earned 308 wins in her career as the head soccer coach at BYU. Jennifer Rockwood in studio. Coach, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. I want to point out that you have some really passionate fans. And so we're going to start this interview with a 4-page letter that we got from our good buddy Ralph Nielsen, who has been a longtime season ticket holder and watches BYU Sports Nation and loves BYU women's soccer. I'm going to read you the first paragraph. And this doesn't have anything to do with you, but this is just going to set this up. He says, when I am able to, I enjoy watching BYU Sports Nation. I estimate that about 50% of the show is sports reporting and about 50% is juvenile hijinks.
Yes, true.
But the sports reporting is excellent, and I especially enjoy that part. Okay, then he outlines his longstanding history with BYU women's soccer coach, and I think there are 23 questions.
Oh,
so
wow.
we have picked 2.
Okay.
We're going to start with this.
Put me on the spot.
Yes. What is the game strategy for BYU's team this year? Obviously, you want to score more than the other team, and he references that. But is the emphasis going to be on scoring or on defense this year?
For us, it's always been defensive emphasis. Something we always talk about, especially the first 2 weeks. Can't win games or championships if you give up goals. So we spend a lot of time on that. We have high expectations. Our defense starts with our forwards. We're a high-pressure team. There's not a lot of teams out there doing that now. A lot of teams have gone to low pressure. So we think we can get a lot of teams, catch them off guard. Again, just high pressure, 1 through 10 on the field, and want our girls to go out there and make teams uncomfortable. That's really our goal, is to make our opponents uncomfortable. With that in mind, we want to score more goals, and we want to have more of a presence in front of our opponent's goal. So we're working on both of those.
Defense wins championships, my friend. Remember
That's
that,
right.
Spencer?
Absolutely.
Remember that.
Spoken like a true defender.
I
Absolutely.
try to tell him, Coach. He doesn't listen to me.
Ryan's still yapping. You know,
He doesn't listen.
when he was a defensive back here, that's all he did.
You got to have that swagoo.
You
That's
can't
right.
score on me. I scored on you last drive,
Right.
dude. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
I
matter.
forgot it already.
Doesn't matter. Not again. Not this time.
Jennifer Rockwood, the head coach, BYU women's soccer on BYU Sports Nation. Okay, we're going to go with one more question from Ralph. He asked about penalty kicks. How much time do you spend working on penalty kicks in practice?
You know, we've done it different ways over the years. It's tricky. You don't know exactly. I've talked to a lot of coaches, and we've done it, like I said, differently every year. The last few years, we've had everybody take PKs and take them quite frequently so that they just get more used to it. In a few years ago, we didn't have too many PKs, but last year we drew 4 or 5. And so with us being on TV and everybody seeing, you know, where our PK takers go, we need to have 4 or 5 or 6 even ready to go. And certainly by the end of the season, post-conference play, you know, the biggest games you play of the year can be determined, and we've seen that. So we've been taking them a lot more. We're asking everybody to take them, and we take it quite frequently throughout the year.
It was a penalty kick that won you the game against Utah last year.
Yes.
A very hard-fought battle,
Absolutely.
I should say.
Interesting game, yes.
I think with like 74 fouls or something like that.
and a player kicked off the field.
Yes.
We don't know why. Yeah.
Entertainment right there.
Okay, so Ralph, thank you. BYU Sports Nation
thank you for being
heard
a
you.
fan.
Hopefully the 50% sports reporting we did right there during this interview is adequate, and now it's time for the 50% hijinks.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, Coach?
Yes.
Okay. No, seriously, I do want to ask you about the challenge that you have taken on with your schedule this year. You and I talked about this the other night after the blue and white game, and you have loaded up the schedule.
We have.
What was the emphasis in doing that?
Well, we've done it in the last 3-4 years. Just over the years, we've always had a pretty nationally competitive schedule. And when we went into the WCC, we were really concerned because we thought we maybe overscheduled our non-conference because now our conference was so challenging.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, we've had some good success. And the girls love playing bigger opponents. They love raising the game and really seeing what they're capable of doing. And so we've had a lot of great results in the last few years. And typically against ranked opponents. So why not just challenge ourselves? Why not just go out there, see how good we can be? We are going to be a young team. But, again, I just feel that the girls will step up to it when they have those expectations. They want to be their very best. And you only know how good you're going to be unless you know, if you play great opponents. So yeah, we're loaded this year, and we'll see what happens with our schedule.
I felt like you were young last year. You graduate 3-4 dynamite seniors. You know, we're talking about Rachel Manning and Chloe Coulihan, who got drafted, and Erica Owens, who has an argument as maybe the best goalkeeper in BYU women's soccer history. But you bring back a ton of experience still. How does that work? How are you young, but you feel confident approaching such a tough schedule?
Well, that's what you hope to do. I mean, you go out there and you recruit kids you think can play for you right away. I mean, we're not in a point where we're looking to kids to kind of bring on as a freshman and hope they play by a junior year. We have the opportunity to recruit kids we think can maybe make an immediate impact. And we work really hard in the spring developing our new team once our seniors are gone. And we went undefeated this spring with a lot of kids who didn't play that many minutes in the fall for us. And so our returning group is fantastic. I think they've improved quite a bit. And then this last week, we've added 8 really talented freshmen who are competing at a very high level. So again, our future looks strong, even though we've graduated, 16 great players in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But that's what you do. You graduate great players and you bring on great players, and you just hope you can keep that momentum going each year.
Do you see any of those 8 freshmen making a huge impact right away?
I do. I really do. And again, every year we hope that at least a couple of them, and we have had that in the past few years. With Ashley last year made a huge impact. The year before, Michelle Murphy. We get Murphy back. We didn't have her last year, and she looks healthy and great. But all 8 of them have come in, very prepared. They're playing at a very high level. It's making our job as coaches extremely difficult right now as far as trying to come up with a lineup and some playing time answers. But that's a good problem to have for us.
I'm starting to see kind of a trend in all sports, not just football, where younger kids are coming in and they're ready to play, right away.
Now. Yeah.
Like right now. And I know it has to do with trainings and things like that, but I think even more so with soccer, you're starting to see a huge swing in popularity, right? With the World Cup and things like that. Do you think that has played a role in younger kids being more prepared?
Absolutely. The club system across the country has exploded. And so these kids are getting professional coaching from the time they're 10, even younger. They're playing on select teams, they're traveling, they're having to play under high-pressure situations. Parents are signing them up for speed and agility training when they're 9 and 10 years old, and personal training on top of competition. So these kids, they're almost like professional athletes at a very young age. And so, yes, we're seeing tremendous development, and the coaching has just gotten so much better as more and more people are into soccer. The coaching is there, and these kids come to us now at a very, very high level.
Brian's got his 3-year-old in speed and agility training right
Let's
now.
Go.
I do right
Let's
now.
Go. Sign up for soccer.
Maybe. I had a rule in my house the other day. I said, "Hey,
get with the trend, Brian.
No kicking in this house. No kicking balls in this house. You have to use your hands."
Okay, 4 or 5. That's when they got to start playing. So you've got to be ready. Be a soccer dad.
I will. I bring him out to the games a couple of times, and he's just. After that, it's hard because he just starts kicking me and my wife. Not the ball, he just starts kicking us.
Right.
Do you think that's healthy though? That's good for that much training and that pressure and that stress at such a young age?
I think it's a fine line. I think some people can kind of go a little bit overboard. You see kids burn out. But I also know that there's a lot of kids out there that just embrace it. They love it. They have a passion for it, and it leads them to good things. Yeah. Keeps them out of the house.
Yep.
Outside playing with their friends. And so again, you can never do too much of one thing. I mean, you can do too much of one thing, but it's just a fine line. You just have to be careful not to push them, if they're not wanting to do it. But some kids just really take to it and just love it and want to do it nonstop.
Yeah, you mentioned to me the other night as well that some of these kids you've been watching since they were 10 or 11, Busy Phillips and Carla Swenson, and you said, hey, I've got my eye on you, and now they're playing for you.
Yeah.
How has that been, watching them go from 10 and 11-year-old stars now to hopefully starring for BYU?
It's fantastic. I've been waiting for it for a while. It's great. I remember those Sparta kids came to camp when they were 10 years old and just blew my mind. I'd never seen a group of kids playing at that high of a level at their age. And, we're going to sit back and follow them like we follow other people, but they certainly caught our eye. And I do remember turning to Busy when she was little, coming to our game saying, you're such a great player. I'm going to keep my eye on you. And that big smile of hers that she still has, it's pretty cool to have her on the field in a jersey now.
Coach, Lane Kiffin at USC offered a 13-year-old scholarship?
Yes.
Did you do that?
No.
Did you offer?
No,
Did they
I
commit
waited.
at 10 years old?
She was nice and early, but I think she's a sophomore. But yeah, we're delving into the freshmen now, and that's a little crazy, but it's just the state of our sport and what's going on. I mean, most coaches will say they don't like to do it, but it is what it is. And if you don't get on the young kids early when you're interested in them, then someone else does, and then they don't think you want them. So, yeah, recruiting has gotten earlier and earlier for all the sports.
It seems like you can be great in soccer at a very young age, and it's easier in that sport than I think most other major sports like basketball and football and baseball. There's just more development there. But in soccer, it's like if you're a star, like there's just something in you. And look at Lionel Messi and these guys. They start so young, and they're dominating people when they're 13.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, yeah, you can see that. And we're looking at young kids right now, just keeping our eye on them and see what happens. I mean, there's no guarantee that they're going to be, some kids will pass them up. They could be great as a 12-year-old, and then as a 14, 15-year-old, people have caught up to them. But again, there are some special kids that you can see at a very young age.
It's certainly exciting that your program is young, and at this point, you've now developed a program where it's not like, okay, we got to rebuild. Let's just reload. And we saw that with the blue and white game the other night. You have the alumni game on Saturday night. And if you're in the Provo, Utah area, that should be a good show. What do you anticipate on Saturday night when you bring back some of the former BYU greats to now take on your newest dynamic roster?
Well, we wanted a good preseason game that wouldn't count against our schedule. We're limited on what we can and can't do. And we thought what greater way to give us a good scrimmage than to bring back some of our fantastic players. So we appreciate them coming back and kind of going out there. Most of them obviously haven't been training at a super high level, but they were amazing players when they played for us, and I know a lot of them are still involved in coaching and playing a little bit for fun. So it'll be fun to see them out on the field. It'll be fun for our current players to kind of get to know some names. And we were practicing out on South Field when they were putting the All-American banners up the other day, and it was just fun to talk to the current players about some of the great soccer players that have come before them and have kind of made the way and built the fan base and built the records and have brought the championships and have set the level of expectation to where it is right now. It'll be fun to have a lot of those girls on the field.
How is that the environment of that game? I mean, are the current players, are they just like, oh, we have to, for bragging rights, we got to win? I mean, I would think as an alumni, you're kind of a little bit more laid back, approach, or you could be like, I'm not letting these
Brian's ready for an alumni football game, clearly.
I'm ready.
But see, you'd be competitive out there. You'd want something to prove, right?
Oh, I would. If I lost, I'd fight.
Yeah, I mean, we have Alicia who's out there. She's gonna be leading the charge. You got Mac and Erica and Chloe and Rach. They're just a few months removed from playing. They're extremely competitive, so I think they'll go out there. But the young kids, the new team right now, it's just another opportunity to play against someone. They've obviously been competing against themselves for the last week, and we've been going pretty hard. I think it's more tiring on me than it is on them, these double days. But the fact that they get to play against someone different, and then we can really evaluate. Blue and white, it's tough. If you score goals, and you're like, your defense isn't doing well, and if you don't score goals, you're like, oh, my offense isn't doing well. So blue and white's a little harder to evaluate. So we'll have some more film and kind of see where we stand a little bit more on Saturday night.
Jennifer Rockwood, the head coach of BYU women's soccer, 308 wins. Congratulations on that number, Coach. 50-50 here on our part, sports reporting and juvenile hijinks, but you're all business.
That's right.
You are all
business. We have no fun on our team at all. None.
Zero fun.
Zero fun. 26
Coach.
Girls, no fun.
Listen,
they're a lot of fun.
Exactly.
If you've been around our team, they're a lot of fun. They keep me young.
Check them out Saturday night in the alumni game, 7 o'clock at Southfield. Also, the home schedule is dynamite. You can watch, if you can't get to Provo, Utah, our BYUtv coverage starts against Washington State on Monday, August 25th with a 5:30 Mountain start. Coach, looking forward to that, and the Baylor game and the Santa Clara game and the Portland game. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks a lot.